Today we're making baklava, finger-sized bites of sweet crispy goodness. Baklava is the name given to a variety of sweet pastries from the Middle East. Most are made from layered sheets of Phyllo pastry with nuts sandwiched between them. There's tons of different shapes, sizes and fillings, and today we're making my absolute favourite, Burma or Burma Baklawa. This one is rolled into a spiral with layers of nuts between every crispy layer of pastry. It gives it a uniquely delicate texture and amazing nut flavour. Today I'll show you how to make this amazing baklava using both pistachios and walnuts. And I'll also show you how to make the perfect syrup to dress it with. Before we get started, I'm Obi and I want to get you cooking delicious Middle Eastern food at home. Consider subscribing if you'd like to see new step-by-step Middle Eastern recipes every week. Now let's jump right in. However you say it, baklawa or baklava, there's only 4 components that go into it. The syrup, the butter, the nuts and the pastry. And to get a great product, you have to nail every single one. First thing we'll make is the syrup, which we'll use to sweeten the baklava. This is just a basic syrup with some added cinnamon. To make it, add 250 grams or 1 1/4 cup of sugar to a pot on medium-high heat. Next, add 150 milliliters or 2/3 of a cup of room temperature water to the pot. To prevent the syrup from crystallizing later, we'll also add in half a tablespoon of lemon juice. Let the pot heat up undisturbed until it comes to a boil. When it does, feel free to remove any floating foam and then check if the sugar has fully dissolved. If it hasn't, don't stir the pot, just swirl it instead. Once the sugar has fully dissolved, add in a small stick or 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going for a lightly spiced cinnamon syrup, but in some countries they also add cloves, rose water or orange blossom water, so feel free to do that if you'd like. Turn the heat down to low and let the syrup simmer for 10 minutes until it has thickened slightly. Once it has reduced and is looking syrupy, remove from the heat and let it cool. And that's your syrup done. I'm pouring it out into this gravy boat so it's easier to apply later on. It may look like a lot, but this is the only sweetener going into the baklava. Like any pastry, baklava is made from layers of dough with fat between them. In this case it's butter. To make sure the butter doesn't burn while the baklava bakes, we'll clarify it to remove any milk solids. This is a really simple process. Add 250 grams or 8 3/4 ounces of butter to a pot on high heat and melt it completely. Once it's melted, let it boil for a minute or 2 to encourage the fat to separate. After boiling, pour the butter out into a jug, and as you get towards the end of the pot, make sure not to pour out any of the white milky stuff. Those are the milk solids we are removing. Let your melted butter sit for about half an hour and then pour it out into another container to remove any further milk solids which have settled. And that's how you make clarified butter. For the nuts, I'm going with half walnut and half pistachio. In Egypt we mostly use walnuts in our baklava, and in Turkey they use pistachio. You can use either of them, though doing both will be a nice contrast. You obviously can't use whole nuts in the baklava, so your aim is to mince them into tiny pieces. For the full tray you'll need 200 grams of walnuts, or 100 grams for half the tray. Place them on a cutting board and get to chopping. To mince the walnuts, just rock your knife back and forth over them continuously. If you have a good food processor, you can pulse these with a blade to make short work of them. The end goal here is for your walnuts to be about the size of couscous grains or slightly bigger. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. For the pistachios it's much the same, and I'm using 100 grams again. Though because we're making baklava, you should use Turkish Antep pistachios. These special guys have a very vibrant natural green colour, and they also have a slight citrusy flavour. Regular pistachios will do fine if you can't find the Antep ones. Pistachios are a harder nut than walnuts, and I found that it's easiest to mince them in small amounts. After roughly chopping them, I take a small handful and work my way through it until I achieve an even small texture. This will save you a lot more time than trying to mince the whole bunch. When you're done, you should be left with a beautiful green pistachio meal like this. The next component is the Filo pastry, and you can find this ready-made at grocery stores. It's a pastry that's rolled thinner than a sheet of paper, and because of that it's super delicate. It also dries out really fast, so you need to keep it covered at all times except the sheet you're working with. Now this is an example of bad store-bought phyllo, because this one is already splitting and torn from being rolled up. If you were to use this, it would split even more as we roll the baklava. I'd recommend buying 2 different brands of phyllo pastry, and try find packs with a recent production date. You'll need about 500 grams or 1 pound of phyllo. Here's a different pack which turned out to be pretty good. It's normal for some tears to happen when handling it, so be careful. To make these baklava, you'll need some sort of rod to roll the pastry onto. This is a 3mm wooden dowel which I got from a hardware store, and it does a perfect job. You could also use a grilling skewer if you have an extra long one. You'll also need a baking dish which measures about 30cm by 20cm, or 12" by 8". Prepare it by generously spreading some of the clarified butter on the base and the walls of the dish, so your baklava doesn't stick. Now for the fun part. We can start rolling the baklava logs. Place a single sheet of phyllo on your cutting board and smooth out any wrinkles. The first thing we'll do is laminate the phyllo to make it stronger and flakier. These sheets measure about 35cm by 25cm, so I'll cut them in half to end up with 2 sheets, with a length of 25cm. Just fold the sheet in half to find the approximate halfway point, and then use a sharp knife to slice the sheet. Using a brush, cover one of the half sheets with a layer of clarified butter. Spread it all across the sheet and make sure to get the edges and corners as well. Once your sheet has been well coated, pick up the second half and lay it on top of the first one. If you have any tears or holes, try to layer them over a solid piece of the second sheet to add some structural support. Push out any large air bubbles or creases from between the layers and then rotate the laminated sheet sideways. Once again, you'll brush butter onto the surface of the laminated sheet and go all the way to the edges. Once your sheet has been evenly covered in butter, sprinkle on about 2 to 3 teaspoons of your nut filling. Shake them onto the upper 3/4 of the sheet, as a cleaner lower quarter makes it easier to start rolling. With your nuts added, take the time to pick out any large pieces, as these may tear the phyllo. To roll, place your rod at the bottom of the sheet of pastry and fold the phyllo over it. Start rolling the rod forwards and your pastry will roll up onto it. As you're rolling, apply a light even pressure and make sure you're going in a straight line. Keep the roll nice and tight and roll it all the way to the other edge. Once you reach the end, give it a few more rolls on the board to tighten the layers up. It's time to scrunch the rolled baklava to give it its distinctive ridged look. Slide the roll on the rod to loosen it up and prevent it from sticking, and then once loosened, grip both sides of the pastry in your fists, and then push them across the rod towards each other. Keep going till you've compressed them to about 2/3 of their original size. Make sure to also compress the center of the roll as well. Next, you need to get it off the rod and into the tray. And to do that, gently slide the roll back and forth until it releases from the rod, and then slide it off of one end. Lay your roll in the tray with any excess pastry piled up to one side. Clean off your chopping board and start again. Laminate, fill, roll, scrunch until you have filled your baking dish. Here's how my dish looked, half filled with green pistachio rolls and the other half walnut rolls. Do your best to lay these in straight lines so your dish comes out looking uniformly beautiful. To prevent burning, get a sharp knife and then trim off any pieces of extra pastry. You could bake these separately if you really wanted to. With your pastry trimmed, it's time to pre-cut the rolls into individual pieces, as they'll be too flaky to cut once baked. Start off by trimming the sides of the tray. I'm making a cut about 1 cm or ½ an inch from the edge. This will give us nice and uniform sides on our finished product. Break out a ruler and divide the remaining width into 3 or 4 equal columns, and you'll end up with equal sized baklavas. The last thing to do is to brush your baklava with a final coat of butter. This one will give them a beautiful brown colour in the oven. Bake them at 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour until golden on top. As soon as they come out of the oven, pour your syrup evenly over the baklava. The syrup should sizzle as it hits the pan and will get absorbed into the pastry. Pour on a minimum of 3/4 of the syrup. You can reserve the rest for when you serve it. Let the baklava cool for at least half an hour before handling. Once the tray is no longer hot, you can remove any of the trimmed edges. You can still tell which flavour the baklava are by their colour. The lighter golden ones are walnut, and the darker ones are pistachio. Now they don't always look great straight from the oven, and to fix that, pistachio powder is your friend. Mince some more pistachio extra fine, or stick it in a blender till it turns to a powder. Place the pistachio powder on the baklava in a line. I'm going across each column and dropping a generous amount on each piece. When you're done, you should be left with something that looks like this. And what a world of difference it made. And here's the final product, and I think it's the best looking thing I've made on the channel so far. To this day, it's a tradition in the Middle East to bring baklava as a gift when visiting someone's house. And just from the appearances of this, it's clear why it's so highly regarded. It's actually my first time making this kind of baklava, and I'm really impressed with the results. My Burma Baklawa is usually rolled to the size of a pinky finger, and so this is pretty good. They taste best after they've rested for at least 12 hours, but you can eat them as soon as they've cooled. So I think it's time for a taste test. One of the common themes in baklava is that it always tastes overly sweet. That's not the case here at all. The sweetness is perfectly balanced with the nut flavour, and the pastry is so extremely crispy. Because there's only a small amount of nuts in each piece, the nut flavour is quite delicate, but you can immediately tell the pistachio from the walnut. The little hint of cinnamon really ties the whole thing together, and it makes for the perfect bite-sized treat. If you're a fan of extra crispy food, be sure to give this one a try. As usual, all the ingredient amounts and directions are in the description box below, and I'll be back next week with another recipe.